61, Connecticut's news station.
Frightening moments in southwestern Connecticut. A young boy remains in the hospital tonight after rescuers pulled him from the water at Indian Well State Park, unresponsive. And we are still working to get an update on his condition tonight. We'll have the latest from Shelton soon, but first we have to start on the weather with the heat. We've issued a weather impact alert because it's going to be a hot few days and we all need to take it seriously. Thanks for joining us on the CW tonight. I'm Brent Hart.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Let's get straight over to meteorologist Sam Sampuri. Sam, will people get any relief tonight?
No. In fact, Sarah and Brent, we have temperatures that are 80 degrees at this hour. 80 in Windsor Locks, 80 in New Haven, 80 in Bridgeport. Temperatures averaging in the mid to upper 70s, even in the rural towns in western and eastern Connecticut. Look at these dew points, very tropical. They're in the lower and the middle 70s. It's like we're, walking outside down in the Gulf states, for example. Heat indices still in the mid 80s in some of our valley locations there. And we have a wind out of the south, so we had that southerly warm, moist flow. We don't have any showers or storms. Any showers that did develop were very few and far between. They have dissipated overnight, mostly cloudy skies, and temperatures will be dropping back into the upper 60s to lower 70s and right back up to 90 degrees and even into the lower 90s. Feeling more like 95 to 100 here. Look at this, mid to upper 90s, and yeah, I do think that some towns could feel like 100 degrees. So here's a temperature profile. Even down in New Haven, it's going to be 88 tomorrow. Even down along the shoreline, it's going to be in the lower and middle 80s here. And then up in the inland areas, 92 in Windsor, Windsor Locks, low 90s, even up in Norfolk, up near 90 degrees. Heat advisory, there's an air quality alert. I'll talk all about that coming up in a few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Sam. The state's severe hot weather protocol is in effect until 8 o'clock Friday night. Cooling centers are open and towns and cities are extending public pool and splash pad hours to help families beat the heat. You can dial 211 or visit 211ct.org for exact locations. We also have all that information available at fox61.com.
And while some of those towns are extending hours at the splash pads, others are advising against going in the water at all. Bacteria has been found in Gorton Pond, Esker Point, Green Harbor Beach, and Hawks Neck Beach. These areas are not closed to swimmers, but you're advised not to go underwater. In fact, the state says it's safest just to wade in that water until the bacteria levels go back down. And developing tonight in Shelton, a 5-year-old boy is in the hospital after being pulled from the water this afternoon at Indian Well State Park.
Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot has more on the boy's condition and more from those at the park when this emergency happened. Kay.
Deep officials say they got a report about a child in the water at Indian Wells State Park around 4 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. Several people alerted park officials that the child looked to be in distress. Tegan and her family were some of the many at Indian Wells State Park Tuesday expressing concerns and worrying for the safety of others after Deep says a child was pulled from the water not far from the boat launch.
I just feel like everybody, like adults and everyone who know how to swim should watch their kids, and even if it's not just their kids, watch the little kids swimming and make sure they're all okay and make sure they're not going too far and that they are safe.
People who did not want to go on camera told Fox 61 they knew something was wrong when they saw the heavy police presence at the park. First responders were able to get the child out of the water and emergency personnel began working on resuscitating them. They were rushed to the hospital for further treatment. The child's mother was also taken to the hospital. For some people, including Benjamin and Emilio, it's a sobering reminder that something like this could happen in an instant.
It's just crazy how fast it can happen to anyone. It really doesn't matter. Water conditions could be scary, especially in the river. Just got to be safe.
It's important to know how far you're going out and whether there's a drop or not, or if there's a current. Those are all things to keep in mind and consider.
So it's just important to keep an eye on everybody, especially if you're an adult watching after the kids.
State officials remind everyone about the importance of being cautious and vigilant around the water this summer, especially in areas where there are no lifeguards on duty. In Shelton, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
And when bad weather hits, driving can quickly become dangerous. We saw examples of that just last night in Waterbury when roads were turned into rivers in just a matter of minutes.
Fox 61's Raven Blue asked professional driving instructors how we should change our driving to stay safe in severe weather.
When the weather gets rough, even experienced drivers can find themselves in dangerous situations. In the blink of an eye, a smooth drive can turn treacherous. I spoke with local driving instructors about ways to keep you, other drivers, and emergency responders safe when the weather turns.
I think the first thing is everybody really needs to recognize their speed and their space.
Karen Madura is one of several driving instructors at Glastonbury Driving School. The school stresses the importance of paying attention to speed and driving distance when out on the roads, especially when road conditions are bad.
Every time you go for the speed limit 5 miles lower, and always keep it the following distance, because we cannot front up the person, suddenly press the brake. You need for the distance at least.
If all of us learn to just take 2 minutes to recognize those key factors on the road, we'd have much safer roadways.
Sometimes all it takes is just a little bit of rain to create slick conditions on the roads. If a driver is not careful, it could cause their car to hydroplane out of control.
When you are driving too fast and it's raining out and your car is basically riding on an inch of water, now your tires no longer connect to the road.
Madura says watch out if your car starts to hydroplane and remain calm behind the wheel.
My recommendation for anybody who is hydroplaning, one, is to control your speed knowing that it is raining. Get your foot off of the accelerator. If you find that you are tapping your brakes, do them lightly. Never ever slam on your brakes in the rain. With proper space distance, your car will gently start to come back down and connect to the roadway.
Drivers are also reminded about Connecticut's move over law, especially with those hazardous roads. Thursday, a driver skidded out of control on the wet roads and crashed into several state troopers' vehicles on the side of I-91 in Enfield. That crash shows how it doesn't take a lot of rain to create a dangerous situation during severe weather.
Somebody's on the side of the road having an emergency. So if we're doing our job as drivers, we're making the roads much safer versus having an emergency and making an extra emergency out of that.
According to the U.S. Department of Transportation, bad weather is a factor in 1 in 5 traffic crashes each year. Connecticut State Police wants to remind drivers to slow down and move over when you see emergency vehicles on the side of the road. And remember, turn around, don't drown if you see a flooded street. In Waterbury, Raven Blue, Fox 61.
There's a new girls' summer soccer program in Hartford offered at no cost.
It's a partnership between the Hartford Lions Soccer Academy and Hartford Healthcare, and the initiative goes far beyond sports.
Fox 61's Valerie Moravi shows us the hands-on health education these girls are also receiving.
There's only one rule on this field: to give every young girl the opportunity at success. And the Hartford Lions Soccer Academy is creating those opportunities for girls to play sports in a world where you play like a girl brings a much stronger and impactful meaning.
Love the games. I like when we lose or when we win because we're always getting better.
10-year-old Malaysia Plummet of Hartford has been playing soccer since she was 6. She's excited for this new girls-only team, calling it a chance for a meaningful change, one goal at a time.
Once people hear the word soccer, they think of a boys' sport. So it gives the girls a better opportunity to show their skills, get better, develop, just everything.
The founder and executive director of Hartford Lions Soccer Academy, Keneal Martin, says the girls' team will focus on building skills on the field that can translate off the field. He calls this a game changer for many of these young players.
I think for a lot of the girls are returning, they're so used to playing with boys. I think it will be a huge difference, a huge change for them to be actually playing against girls consistently.
And the competition may be more visible.
I think so. They're way more competitive, if to be honest. And the thing is too, girls they tend to listen a lot more compared to boys, right? And they pick up things a lot quicker, but they're super aggressive and they're super competitive.
The program will be for girls ages 7 through 14 living in Hartford. 10-year-old Kyra, 9-year-old Zoe, and 8-year-old Candy are all different ages, but they all share the passion on the field.
I like to hear that because when I play with boys, like, there's not really enough like girls team in Hartford. Let's try new things and never give up. There are a lot of boys here, and I want more girls. So it's really good for us to have more girls.
And what makes this team unique is the partnership with Hartford Healthcare. Manager of Community Health and Engagement, Aurelie Roldan, says it's important to teach health education, including CPR, at an early age through this program.
So you can avoid things like obesity and high blood pressure and cholesterol. We know that in Black and brown communities, a lot of people don't know how to do CPR. So why not start with the little ones and then end up having their parents also learning the same thing because they're in the room.
Martin says while they empower these young girls through sport and education, they're ready to change the game of soccer and the lives of so many girls in Hartford at no cost to families.
We're taking our time where we're breaking down that barrier and providing a safe space, and just for parents to understand that it's something good for these kids. It's great to be a part of their development, and it's going to be challenging as well.
Now, the soccer clinic program kicks off July 19th and runs through August 16th. Early registration is encouraged. In Hartford, Valerie Moravi, Fox 61.
Thank you, Valerie. Some sad news tonight. Fairfield's first selectman, Bill Gerber, has died. His family says he lost his fight with brain cancer this afternoon. Gerber passed away at Yale New Haven Hospital around 4:15. He spent nearly 30 years in Fairfield with his wife and family and took office just last November. His family says he stayed on the job until the day before he went to the hospital. They are now planning a ceremony to honor him and thank the community for its support. In a statement, Governor Ned Lamont said this is a tragic loss, and he writes, Bill was passionate about serving his community and always dedicated to giving back, whether it was through public service or philanthropy. My heart goes out to the Gerber family.
A well-known Connecticut paranormal investigator who helped care for the infamous Annabelle doll has suddenly died. Dan Rivera was on tour with the doll this weekend in Gettysburg. Rivera worked with the New England Society for Psychic Research. That group was founded by Ed and Lorraine Warren. The society says Rivera cared deeply about teaching others and left a lasting impression on everyone who knew him. They have not said how he died.